What up, Skywatchers? Welcome back to another episode of Project Skywatcher. My name is Luis. I have my team here with me, JR and Mystery. We have an exciting episode for you today, so let's get right into it. All right, guys, so this past week has been very disappointing. We had the Pentagon release their documents, their disclosure of UFOs, and that was bad, to say the least. Also, we had Jeremy Corbell hype up and then release a new UFO video, which didn't live up to the hype. So we feel let down because we have witnessed a UFO together as a team while we were skywatching. And we feel that the evidence that they should be providing us should be much better than what they've given us so far. So, I mean, let's talk about a little bit about our experience and what we saw that day when we went out and skywatched. Go ahead, JR.
Yeah, definitely. It was October 24th, 2019. So we usually get together and just skywatch. We're like always trying to observe the sky, see if we, of course, the biggest thing is witness like a UFO, but typically we see a lot of Starlinks, shooting stars if that comes up. But yeah, it was just like a typical night. We were all just sky watching, talking about just random subjects as we were sky watching like we normally do. So we always try to like cover the sky as a team. So usually, like, I faced east, Luis faces north, and Mr. E faces south or west. But we always try to have like a great advantage of the sky. So if somebody sees something, we just, call it out. Hey, look up northeast, and everybody knows where their directions are and could easily like observe what's happening. Typically it's a Starlink that passes by, or some sort of satellite. But this night was like totally different. I think it was like around 9 p.m. but I was facing north east, and while we were talking, all of a sudden, like, I just seen this motion, this huge motion in the sky, and I just started to scream, "Hey, look at that." And I pointed up to it, and it was like a shape of a triangle, just going past the sky, but it was like cloaked. So it was like not fully there, right? For me, what I seen with my eyes when it was traveling. So it was traveling from the east to the west, kind of like in an angle more like east north to west south. But yeah, it was really quick, and it was, what I remember, it was like huge. It was taking like a big chunk of the sky, and when it passed us, everybody else started to witness it, and I just like locked in. Like I was like, should I pull my phone out to capture this? But it was like, for me, probably like 12 seconds from the time that I seen it. And the shape of it, yeah, like I said, was a triangle shape, took up a lot of the sky, but it was like a boomerang, so it was like a V shape, right? And for me, there was like 5 or 6 kind of like dim lights in between each side of the UFO. It wasn't like it was like really lit like lights, but you could see like some sort of like luminescent coming out of it. It was cloaked really quick, and just, it was really mind blowing for me. I'm not sure if anybody, well, what did everybody else perspective was on that?
So my perspective, I just want to put it out there. This encounter was classified as a close encounter of the first kind. So because we witnessed a UFO, and it was exciting stuff. As we were staring up in the sky, all I remember is JR just saying, "Hey, look to the right," and I look up, and the first thing I see, usually when I look up, I'm trying to like focus in, see what I could catch, usually seeing small lights in the sky. But this time it was this giant boomerang shaped object, and it was see through. I could see through it. It was just flying across the sky, very very like quickly, but at the same time, it felt like time just slowed down for us. Like I was like in a trance because I was just staring at this thing, and I still to this day have a perfect like picture in my head of what this thing looks. It's V-shaped. It has these giant like sections within it. I guess JR, what he says is maybe like some light, like some lighting that the aircraft had. I saw just straight up black squares within the object, and it was just moving really quickly across the sky. So just to experience that, that just took me to another level of the skywatching thing that we do. And I got excited after that, and I was ready to experience that again, which has happened also again. And we'll get into that here soon. And what do you think, Luis? What did you experience that night?
Well, I the most beautiful part about my experience was when I looked up, I saw a craft that was cloaked, that was see-through. So the sky almost looked warped to me. It looked warped to me. It looked like a V-shaped craft flying over us. And honestly, when you see something like this, in my mind, I try to make sense of it by thinking that maybe it was a government craft, and we're just seeing their latest technology. But either way, we saw something amazing that night, and that was just one of the crafts that we saw that night. There was another one that we saw that night, but
yeah, definitely. Sorry to cut you off, but I want to point out that this UFO was like what we seen. It was silent, right? Like it was dead silent when it passed, when it flew from east to west, right across the sky, like overtaking a large portion of the sky. It was just dead silent, no noise, right? So what we experienced was something that like is really rare, and I think
1 in a million sightings. I'm gonna say,
right, 1 in a million sightings, and only people in that area that were skywatching that night probably could have seen it. But if you were in the Colorado area, October 24th, 2019, and you witnessed this event as well, please let us know. Please contact us through the emails down below in the description. But yeah, let us know if you were in Colorado that day and seen I call it the mothership V-shape, or the V-shaped mothership, because it was just an amazing experience that we all three got to witness.
Well, right after that, I mean, we ended up inviting a couple of friends to go get some drinks at a local bar, and we were just explaining to them what we had just seen, what we had just witnessed, and they couldn't believe it. They thought we were just messing with them. So I mean, the night went on for a little bit, and after the bar, we told them, hey, how about you guys come back with us and come back to the location where we were skywatching, and come see if we could show you some cool stuff. I didn't expect to see the UFO again, but I only expected to maybe show them a couple Starlinks satellite, or maybe a shooting star. But we went back to the location and started skywatching again. And I mean, it wasn't too long after we started watching that, yet again we had JR pointing up at the sky and telling us, hey, look this way. And we had another experience with another craft that was also, from my view, see-through, warped the sky, triangle shaped, and passed right by us almost, I feel, with the same speed as the other one. And it was just great to be able to show them what we were just telling them about. So
Yeah, it was totally incredible. You know, coming back and like you said, not too long into the Skywatch, we seen this triangle shape UFO flying from east to west again over the same sky, a little bit lower on my end and and of course smaller. This one seemed like it was like a military type, aircraft or something, but same thing. It was dead silent. You know, I only witnessed it because of course we were just sky watching and it's just like my peripherals just captured this movement in the sky, but I didn't sense it because there was like sound or anything. It was just well, yeah, just we were looking up and the motion caught my attention. But yeah, like for me it was like the baby aircraft following the mothership, that just passed.
Yeah, I could see that. When I saw it, I was just in awe of how perfectly shaped of a triangle this aircraft was. It was just you could just tell by its shape and then by the lights. So it had three lights, one in the front and two in the back, just like our logo. If you look at our logo and you see, we got the alien head in front, but the triangle UFO on the back of it, that's where we get the inspiration from that night. And we'll put a picture up so you guys can see. But so after seeing that aircraft, it just confirmed that what we were doing that night, as Skywatchers, is something important. And it brought me closer to this, believing, which I've always been a believer, but, that's just the biggest sign you could ever get so you could get into this subject and just be really hardcore about it. And I'm all about it.
I mean, and this is the reason why we feel like this past week was very disappointing. We witnessed something that was incredible, something that was real, something that was physically right above us and unexplainable. And I want other people to witness the same thing, and I want other people to share their experiences with us and their photos and their videos and any proof or evidence that they have for these UFOs. And hopefully also Jeremy Corbell and even the Pentagon could show us better evidence and better information. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Like this is really something that like breaks reality, and like if you're just a regular person living life, working, having a family, growing up, like once you see something like this, like it just changes everything in you, right? Like it's one thing to believe, like, oh, like I believe in UFOs, blah blah, like I've seen these videos, but when you experience like something that's unexplained, that's just like it's just magical, then you just can't come back from that. And this is why I'm personally like committed to like Project Skywatchers and making this a movement where people join us in just watching the sky, doing it as a hobby. This is the new yoga. Like I want to make this like a household thing where families are gathering at night and just sky watching, taking the time to look up, talk amongst each other. One thing I also think is like our energy together kind of manifested this experience, because it seemed like we were like kind of like revealing the veil from this different dimension in the sky, just with us and our presence and our focus and like just staring at the sky and seeing what we could see. And we seen something that was undeniably real. All three of us could verify it, and all five of us with the second experience could verify it. So I'm just really passionate, and I really want people to start, sky watching. Make it a daily practice, just like if you were meditating, if you were doing yoga. These things.
And we have plenty of tips that we want to share with you guys on how to skywatch, how the way we do it, and we will do that in a later episode. But for now, we're just so thankful that you guys are joining us and following us, and we'd like you guys to go ahead and subscribe, like the video, and then go ahead and hit the notification bell. But thank you guys so much for being with us today. I just want to say goodbye and keep your eyes to the sky.